Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video is going to contain a quick look at the Waltz With Fate raid rerun, specifically the Omega Level 3 solo. You just saw there that I had my raid boosts all unlocked, including all of the rare raid boosts. I'm using a shared skill from Geroda, which causes frostbite. I picked Geroda since he is a free-to-play character available to all players, but you would have to pay water element tomes to unlock his skill. I'm using all 4-star or 5-star essence eligible dragons. However, I'm using 8 unbound Agito weapons here. And of course, I'm using all welfare adventurers along with a frostbite punisher setup for my worm prince. I'm not even using a healer. That is how difficult this was to do with welfare characters. I was honestly pretty surprised by how hard they made this raid boss when it comes to the Omega Level 3 solo. Most Omega 3 solos in the past have been relatively easy, or at least not too bad to do, with more budget setups including essence dragons and welfare characters. This, I have to admit, was one of the harder ones. I had to go all the way up to a full team of maxed out Agito weapons, and I also probably have higher level facilities than most players, particularly beginner players. So there's definitely no shame if you're struggling with this, or even if you're struggling with one of the earlier Omega difficulties like level 1 or level 2. I was pretty surprised by how much they amped up the challenge here, and I also think it's indicative of this being a much older raid boss. This is the first time A Waltz With Fate has rerun since it was released in 2019, if you can believe that. And I think you sort of see why. I think this boss fight definitely shows its age a little bit. There's a lot more purples that cause your AI to scatter. It hurts your DPS uptime. It's definitely more suited to a raid setting than a solo setting, so it doesn't really translate into the modern era of having both raid and solo variants as well. And some of these purple swipes, man, are really killer. Now you can reduce those to red swipes if you break the boss's hands, and the wings don't really affect much, but they're lower HP and easier to break. The problem is the hands are very, very tanky and the boss moves them around a lot, so it's really hard to focus on them in solo to actually break them if you are using any type of a budget team whatsoever. Now I'd be really curious, to those of you out there who don't have the best light dragons, how you found this challenge to be. I think if you have Gala Thor, Daiko Kuten, that's going to make your life a lot easier, as well as Gala adventures like Gala Yuden, Gala Luca, as well as Gala Zayna if you are going to run a healer. You see here that I had to forego a healer, basically running Cupid as my main source of healing, just because I tried this with Felicia and I was not able to get the damage output I needed to clear in time. I also tried this with only 5 raid boosts and then with 6 raid boosts. Neither of those were enough. I actually had to unlock all of the rare raid boosts and actually farm for the last rare raid boost to even pull this off with my budget team. So if you are stuck using welfare characters, as I'm demonstrating in this scenario, I think that Mordecai is a good bet. He does a lot of damage, he has the Blade Co ability to increase the strength of all your adventurers, and the Blade 4-strike is really nice in this battle. You need high mobility to dodge some of the purple attacks that the boss does, and that 4-strike is going to give you that mobility to be able to move about the arena relatively quickly, get to the different weak points, avoid some of the purple circles, purple AoEs. So I really like Mordecai for this as a lead. Ended up backing him up with Sophie, who is definitely critical here for her light damage co-ability on a budget. Obviously Peony would be better if you have her. I'm bringing Joe just because he is one of the better DPS that you get for free among light adventurers, and likewise with Luca, one of the better free-to-play light DPS, unless you're counting other event welfares like Wukong, and I didn't want to include those because I think players nowadays probably won't have them if they just started fairly recently. So this was all in all a pretty big challenge. Once you get to the raid variant, it's easier, I think, because you can also team up with a little bit better players. They might have access to stronger units. Some good units in the raid variant would include Dragalia Malera, and some of the same ones that are good in solo like Gala Yuden, Gala Luca, and so on. But yeah, gotta admit, this was actually pretty hard to take on, and it makes me wonder what's coming next with Dragalia's endgame as far as Lilith's encroaching shadow and just how hard that's going to be. If there's a light element component to that, light not having that many good dragons and a lot of its best adventures being limited is starting to add up. You know, a lot of light adventurers at the 3-star and 4-star rarity never got mana spirals. There are so many mana spirals in the flame element and also a lot in the shadow element, but the other 3 elements have a lot fewer mana spiraled characters. So now it makes me feel like if we do get Gala Reborn Jeanne d'Arc at the end of this month, for a lot of players she is going to be a really high value summon, I think, just as a way of powering up your light teams. So anyway, we're about to defeat the boss here, but yeah, just wanted to make this video to acknowledge the event. I like to make one video per event at least, but sometimes I'll skip out if there's a rerun. This event, it's just been so long since it happened that I felt like it was worth it to make a video, and in particular, when I realized how hard this Omega Solo was, I thought it's probably worth trying out and seeing if it's possible to do with a more budget setup like the one I'm using here. So anyway, y'all, that is going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick look at A Waltz with Fate. I hope you enjoyed the story featuring Felicia and Phantom, especially if it's your first time playing through this event. Make sure you befriend Felicia and add her to your collection. One last note for those wondering, I'm not going to make a Should You Summon on the Dragon special. Everybody should definitely skip on that and save your resources. Thank you as always for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next time.